Hi, my name is Will. Welcome to the Distorted Transmission for today. I'm talking to two guys from the Waikato in a band called Leave the Dead. How are you?
Hey, thanks, Will.
You're welcome. Could you guys introduce yourselves, please, for the benefit of people who don't know who you are?
I'm Morgs. I play bass and sing for Leave the Dead.
I'm Rob. I play the guitar.
This is Colin. He plays the drums.
Jane plays guitar.
Cool. I see that the lockdown madness has gripped you very strongly. Have you been using your lockdown time wisely?
Great question, actually. We've actually managed to track all our songs into recording our first album.
Have you got all the artwork sorted?
All the artwork's done. I did all the artwork, and it's looking pretty snazzy. So we saved a bit of money in doing that.
You don't charge much for your services. I've heard that in other places as well.
It's a bit below the belt there, Will.
Can you give us the name of the album?
Cicada King is the name of the album.
Why did you choose that particular name?
One of our songs is called the Cicada King, about some Egyptian dude that would eat cicadas, thinking it would give him eternal life. And he's sort of become the character of the band, I think, kind of like our Eddie.
Okay.
It's sort of just taking a life on its own, taking over the show.
So who writes the lyrics in the band generally?
We both share the lyric writing for all the songs. We kind of feed off each other. We usually come up with the concept, and then we will both pretty much feed off it and then chuck our ideas in it. Right. And it's worked well for the last 6 years. Yeah. So we stick with it.
It's our third band together, so it's kind of, we know how each other works pretty well.
Right. This is your first full release, sort of like what shall I say, full-length album, not full release, full-length album. So what have you released in the past? Was it just EPs and singles? And
there's 4 tracks on Spotify that we've just released as singles just to see how they've been received, and it's been really good. So it's kind of pushed us in a direction to do the full-length album, even though everyone's not really doing full-length albums these days anymore, are they? Really?
A lot of bands do release full-length albums, but they tend to sort of push 1 or 2 singles as the main attraction, and then if there are any hardcore fans, they do generally buy the full release. Yeah. So yeah. You're not sort of going off the beaten track by releasing an album. Definitely not. We've been talking since about 6:30 this afternoon, and we're just like chatting the whole time, no problems at all. And the second I press record, everything's gone out the fucking window. It's weird, eh?
I think it's because Rob's here.
Is it?
Just hide over here. Just hide.
Rob's to blame. How are you going to release this album? Are you going to do vinyl or CDs or tapes or what?
We'll probably do a limited run of CDs, maybe 100 to 200. Maybe release those first and then go full digital after.
Okay.
Maybe a week after that.
Do you think there's much use for CDs as releases these days? I mean, not everyone really uses CDs anymore, and most stuff is sort of digital with Spotify and all those things kind of taking the forefront. But at the same time, like if you're playing shows and stuff, you kind of need to have some kind of merch to sell, and CDs kind of fill that niche really well. So you sort of kind of in this sort of middle limbo where you need merch, so CDs make sense, but in this digital world they don't. What's your sort of feeling on that?
It's good. I still think people still want to have the what do you call it, like something to hold in their hands.
Right, physical copy, right.
Physical. But they I still collect them. Yeah.
You're right, You're right, mate.
Yeah, just everyone just likes to have something physical in their hands.
Should I leave that in the interview or should I take that out? I can't tell what's content anymore. All right. Physical releases are probably the go for the moment. Although I did talk to a few bands about the concept of using things like memory sticks, for example. You could put your album or whatever your releases onto like a 16 gig memory stick or something like that, print it up with the band logo and all that on the side, and inside you can have all of your artwork and everything is sort of as JPEGs or whatever. You can put separate folders with different formats, and then they can copy them to their phone. They can listen to them and enjoy them in different ways. So that's probably a little bit better than a CD, because a CD is, you need a CD player to listen to them, and it's kind of a slightly dated technology.
Well, you also got like the distro kit as well, so you can download MP3s onto your own.
Sure.
I'm not freaking.
Yeah, memory sticks are good. Especially, I think we just want to release the CDs as, like as you said, like that middle ground for merch, for gigs, especially when new people come and see us at live gigs, and they will, have you got a CD or something you can buy, and that happens to us quite a lot. I guess it's just our genre a little bit slow with moving on, because they keep all the old Metallica CDs, old Pantera CDs back from the 90s and 2000s, and they want something to add to that kind of collection as well. Okay,
fair enough. Moving ahead from your release, have you got any gigs coming up in the near future?
So we've got December 10th, we've got Shredfest. This is part of Sam Shepard's new band, Imperial Slave, that's going to be touring the country. That's just started touring the country, and that's going to be lined up with I can't see it. I haven't got my glasses on. Rob will have to read that.
Ask Rob to do it. He can be your eyes. Who's playing, Rob?
Yeah, we've got Imperial Slave, Deathnear, Karnak, Act of Vengeance, and Inverse. Opposite
Inverse. Yeah. Opposite. Cool. So that's the Shredfest, and where was that going to be? At Te Rapa, isn't it?
That's at the local in Te Rapa in Hamilton.
Okay, cool.
That's very COVID pending, if that's going to go ahead.
Sure. I mean, everything's with a grain of salt these days. I mean, pretty much everything's happening, and also nothing's happening. So stay tuned. You mentioned something about a thing called Lucifest, which I hadn't heard of before. What's that?
Lucifest is put together by a band called Lucid Night. Last year they did a really successful festival gathering. It's based at Lam, the guitarist, singer, his home. And it's just a good day in the Waikato. It starts during the day and carries on through to the night. A lot of good people, and next year they're looking at doing a lot more bands and doing a bigger gathering. So it's
primarily Waikato bands, is that right?
So far, I believe so too.
Yeah, so far.
Okay, so it's not like some sort of exclusive Waikato only band thing. It's just that it's kind of a smaller thing at the moment, and if and when it becomes larger, they may bring in bands from other places.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Just going from footage that we saw from last year's Lucifest. It looks like it was a great day. So we're hoping that this year will be, next year will be even better.
All right, cool. So are there any other gigs beyond that or plans for 2022?
Got one in Gisborne and Tauranga coming up. But that's a bit further off into the March area. Not too sure of the full details yet, but it's definitely in the works. Hopefully a tour to support the album.
Have you got any sort of centres in mind when you do the tour? Any places that the people might expect you to be?
We want to get to Christchurch is definitely on there. And mainly the main centres for now. If it's good enough, then we'll start targeting the smaller towns. Hopefully it is, and we can start targeting the smaller towns.
You're going to do Christchurch, so would that be the only South Island gig, I suppose?
I think for us, it's been that one place that because we've been gigging for a few years now, and it's that one place we've always wanted to gig but never have. So I thought we definitely at least have to do that one in there someday.
Fly in, do the show, and then carry on and maybe do the rest of the North Island.
We do get quite a few messages from the guys in Christchurch saying, come on down. So one thing, one way or another, we've got to do it. So in the past, something always comes up and it's canned, or obviously the lockdowns. Yeah.
One other thing I was going to ask you was when is this album tentatively being released?
Aiming at the earliest mid-December. Probably at the moment looking early January.
Okay.
At the last, yeah. So not that far away.
Cool. Is there anything else to add, Morgs? Or are you just going to stare at me? Stare at me like a psychopath? That's just about all the time we have for today. So is there anything else you'd like to add to the end of the interview? A shout out or anything like that?
Like to say a big shout out to Paul Martin and Devilskin. Paul Martin's been a big inspiration on all of us and for this whole scene, the heavy metal scene, rock scene. It's been huge. So big shout out to him.
And Christian Middleton, he's just been a mad supporter of Leave for Dead. Every gig he's there, regardless of parts of the country as it sings. But yeah, he's just been a huge help.
And the beautiful Emily, his wife.
Uh-huh. I see. Big shout out to his wife, eh? All right. Well, thanks very much for chatting with me tonight. And wish me luck for editing this. And I'll catch you later on. Cheers, guys.
Hey, man. See you, man.
Thanks for watching.